Days of Our Lives, star Suzanne Rogers reveals on-screen daughter accompanied her to cancer treatments. In the world of daytime television, where storylines of amnesia, demonic possession, and long-lost twins are weekly fare, the bonds formed on set are often as dramatic and enduring as the plots themselves. For legendary actress Suzanne Rogers, who has portrayed the beloved Maggie Horton on NBC's Days of Our Lives for over 5 decades, one of those bonds transcended the soundstage and became a lifeline during her most private and harrowing battle, a diagnosis of myasthenia gravis, a chronic autoimmune disorder. In an exclusive and deeply personal interview, Rogers is now revealing a profound chapter of that journey, one that showcases the power of found family. While she has spoken before about her health struggles, she is sharing for the first time that her on-screen daughter, played by actress Martha Madison, was a constant, steady presence by her side, even accompanying her to critical cancer treatments she underwent as a complication of her condition. The scripts gave us a mother and daughter, Rogers reflects, her voice warm with emotion. But life and Martha gave me a daughter of the heart. A diagnosis and a disappearing act. Rogers was diagnosed with myasthenia gravis in the early 1980s. The neuromuscular disease causes weakness and rapid fatigue of voluntarily controlled muscles. For an actress whose face and expressions are her primary tools, the symptoms, which included a drooping eyelid and facial paralysis, were not just debilitating, they were professionally terrifying. There was a very real fear that my career was over, Rogers admits. The camera doesn't lie. When my face wouldn't cooperate, it was devastating. I went through a period of wanting to hide, of isolating myself. The producers and writers of Days of Our Lives, in a move that Rogers still calls an incredible act of grace, wrote her illness into the show. Maggie Horton was sent to a sanitarium for a rest cure, allowing Rogers the time she needed for treatment and recovery without losing her job. It was a behind-the-scenes support system that was rare for its time. But the journey was far from over. The immunosuppressant medications required to manage myasthenia gravis, a necessary tool to allow her to function, came with a terrifying trade-off, a significantly increased risk of cancer. Years into her management of the disease, Rogers was diagnosed with squamous cell carcinoma, requiring rigorous treatment. It felt like a betrayal by my own body, she says. I had fought so hard to manage one thing, and then this other, equally frightening battle emerged. An on-screen bond that felt like home. Enter Martha Madison. In 2004, Madison was cast as Belle Black, the brilliant and resilient daughter of supercouple Sean and Belle Brady, and the adopted daughter of Maggie Horton. From their first scenes together, the two actresses found an easy, natural chemistry. Suzanne is one of those people who just radiates warmth and stability, Madison says. As a young actress coming onto a set with such history, she made me feel immediately safe, immediately loved. We just clicked. The mom and daughter thing never felt like acting. Their offset friendship blossomed. They shared lunches, celebrated birthdays, and offered support through personal milestones. Rogers became a mentor and a confidant, while Madison provided a vibrant, youthful energy that Rogers cherished. So, when Rogers faced her cancer diagnosis, the idea of facing it alone was unthinkable to Madison. She mentioned she had to start these treatments and that she didn't want to burden her husband, Wayne, for every single appointment, Madison recalls. He was her rock, of course, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. I just looked at her and said, "I'm driving you." That's it. No arguments. The quiet vigil in the treatment room. What followed were countless trips to the oncology center, a journey far removed from the glamour of Hollywood. There were no cameras, no makeup artists, no scripts. There was just a patient and her chosen daughter. Martha would show up with a bag of things she thought I might need, a soft blanket, my favorite tea, a new audiobook. Rogers shares, her eyes glistening. She never made it a somber event. We'd talk about everything and nothing on the drive there. She'd make me laugh with stories from the set, or we'd just sit in comfortable silence. In the treatment room itself, while Rogers received the chemotherapy that would save her life, Madison would sit beside her, sometimes reading, sometimes just holding her hand. "You see a person's true strength in those rooms," Madison says softly. And Suzanne's strength was awe-inspiring. There was no self-pity, just a quiet, determined grace. My role was simple: be a presence, to remind her that she wasn't alone in that chair, that we were in it together. For Rogers, that presence was everything. The beeping of the IV, the clinical smell. It can make you feel so isolated, so reduced to just a disease, she explains. But having Martha there, she was a tether to the outside world, to normalcy, to life. She reminded me that I was still Suzanne, still an actress, still a friend, still a mom. I wasn't just a cancer patient. A legacy of love stronger than any storyline. This revelation reframes the performances viewers saw on their screens during that time. The scenes between Maggie and Belle were imbued with an unspoken depth, a layer of authentic care that only real-life experience can provide. When Maggie offered Belle advice with a certain look of maternal concern, or when Belle hugged her mother with a particular ferocity, it wasn't just good acting. It was a reflection of a bond forged in the fires of adversity. Rogers, now in remission and still a vital part of the Days of Our Lives canvas, sees her story as a testament to the unexpected ways support can appear. "We talk so much about family on our show, the Hortons, the Bradys," she muses. "We have the famous Horton Square, a symbol of that legacy. But family isn't always about blood. It's about who shows up. It's about who sits with you in the quiet, frightening moments and makes you feel brave." For Martha Madison, who continues her role on the show, the experience was a privilege that deepened her understanding of love and commitment. "Suzanne has given so much to so many people, to the show, to the fans, to me," Madison says. To be able to give her just a little bit of comfort in return was a gift. "She taught me how to be a fighter, and I hope I showed her she didn't have to fight alone." In the end, this is a story that no writer's room could have conceived. It's a narrative not of fictional drama, but of profound human connection. It's the story of a star who found her strength not just in her own resilience, but in the hand of her on-screen daughter, holding hers in a real-life hospital room, proving that sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones that happen when the cameras are off.